All right. Hi, guys. And hi, Susan. Thank you so much for joining us tonight for our leadership Zoom. We
You're
really appreciate
welcome.
it. We're going to get started on time because we want to respect your time and everyone else's. If somebody's running late, that's their own fault. So we'll go ahead and get started. Some people on here know you, some don't, some are a little bit newer. So just tell us a little bit about your story.
Okay, I started in November of 2012. I almost said 14. I don't know why I said that. But it's been 4 years, and I was not looking for this opportunity at all. I only saw the wrap being advertised, and I thought it wasn't going to work, but I tried it anyway. And when I joined, financially, we were not doing very well. We needed to pay off a lot of debt. We had a lot of credit card debt. And at the time, my husband had been promised this really amazing promotion the year prior. And he ended up pretty much getting scammed because he worked really hard to get it and then they changed their mind. So I was out of job because I'd quit my nursing job in order to be at home with our little girl, thinking that this promotion my husband was going to get would take care of us. And when corporate America lied to us, I didn't have a job. He was working the same job, but it was not paying very well. And we were stuck. Like I had to go back. I was going to have to go back to work. So that was around the time that I found It Works. And I didn't think I could do something like this, but I knew I could make a little bit of rat cash. So I signed up and I thought, okay, maybe a little bit of cash will, extend the period of time that I can be home with Vivian. And that's what I wanted. So I joined and I did not go Ruby in 2 months. I ended up going Ruby in my third month. And then I ended up going from Ruby to Double Diamond the next month. And after that, it was just like a whirlwind. I promoted to Triple Diamond 2 months later, and then Presidential Diamond 3 months after that. And then I went ambassador about a year and a half later. So we've been able to bring Michael home. He came home about 2 years ago. We both work the business together, but he is not full-time at Works. He does other projects. He does investments. He does real estate, things like that. And it's just been great. I mean, we have 3 babies now. Well, they're not all babies, but Vivian's 4. Whitley is 2, and Emmeline just turned 1. And so we have 3 girls. And it's been just really, really fun. I love this company a lot, and I love the journey that we're on, and we still have bigger dreams to fulfill. So, yeah, that's where I'm at now.
That's awesome.
Can somebody hang on one second? I'm going to go shut my door. Hang on.
No problem.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem at all. So tell everybody, I know once you go ambassador, you get a 2.0 account. So where are you at right now with that?
So I opened up my 2.0 account June of 2015. And well, that's when I got my first distributor. And after that, in 10 months, I went Presidential Diamond. So I'm a Presidential in my 2.0 spot.
Wow. So when are you going ambassador?
I'm doing the same thing I did last time. When I went Presidential, I wanted to make sure I was super solid before I hit ambassador, and I'm doing the exact same thing again. Oh, so I've got I've got my 4 legs that got me to Presidential. They're all going to conference. And then I just started my 5th leg. So we'll see what happens. It's really, yes, it's a goal of mine, but really the biggest goal is just to help as many people promote to Diamond that I personally enrolled. So hopefully I can do that, and it'll get me an ambassador if it happens,
Definitely. All right. So some of these questions I was thinking about, and then some people asked, wanted to be asked. So if I'm jumping around a little bit, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine.
So what does your work day, quote unquote work day, look like? Or how do you work around your kids and busy schedule?
So for me, it's been a lot of, nothing's ever the same. I don't have balance. I do not have a schedule. I just make sure that I get things done every day. I'm very, very consistent. So consistency is very important. I have a checklist in my head that I make sure that I do. So I make sure I follow up every single day. I keep all my follow-ups on a calendar. I make sure that I'm adding new people to my Facebook every day, and I'm making sure that I'm writing new people and commenting and liking their posts to like have engagement. And then I make sure I have some form of communication with my leaders, and I make a post on our team page every day. So, yeah, that's pretty much what my day looks like. But again, it's never the same. I just make sure, like with my kids, that I give them 100% of my time when I can. And then when I'm able to walk away and I have childcare, Michael's helping, I'm able to do It Works 100% and focus on that. And really, Pam Souter says it best. I mean, you can have 2 hours worth of insane focus, and then you can spend the rest of your day doing whatever you need to do. And so that's what I've been really working on, is just to use my time wisely and get things done. That way I can just spend my day with my family.
Yeah, definitely. So another question we had, so what did you do? I know we all start and we are all really excited. We have our warm market there.
Right.
And as we, are promoting going to Ruby, Emerald, Diamond, we kind of dwindle down our warm market because they're already with us with customers and distributors and things like that. I know you're really great with social media. So how did you kind of rebuild a warm market or keep building your market?
So I'm still working with my warm market. I mean, even today, some of them are slowly starting to come around. When I first started, I used social media to reach my warm market, where I would post my personal results more, like saying, I just tried this thing. Look at my results. This is crazy. I talked to everybody. I called everybody. I texted everybody. I told my family. My mom was totally against this. Like, she thought this was just, I should not be posting what I'm posting. Most of my friends didn't want to sign up, but a lot of my acquaintances did. And a lot of the people that I was wrapping, they were telling, acquaintances that they had. And so I would just start meeting people through my acquaintances, like people from high school that I hadn't talked to in, I don't know, years. I just had my 10-year high school reunion. So, I mean, even people I was friends with in middle school that I hadn't even seen in high school. So it was just really crazy how it started opening up doors. I didn't do a lot of big wrap parties, but I definitely did a lot of small one-on-one wrap appointments, and I kind of turned them into wrap parties. Like, once the party pad did come out, I would use that. But even when I started, we didn't have the party pad. So I kind of just talked about it anyway while I was wrapping people and made it a party. And that's what worked for me. And I signed up in November, and some people think that that's like one of the slowest times. But for me, I signed up 16 customers in my first month. And it was, selling those Christmas packages. And I was just really confident about what I had my hands on. And I think no matter what my rank was, people weren't looking at that. They were just looking at the fact that I was passionate and excited. And that's, I think, what got me really booming in the beginning.
Yeah, definitely. So how do you, we're in this boom season right now, signing distributors left and right, customers left and right. How do you personally train your new distributors?
So, the word train is, some people think you have to be this like master trainer and have all these like secrets or whatever. But the honest truth is, when I enroll somebody, it's their business. I've got my own business to run. So like, I'm needing to be out there getting my own customers and distributors. So for my new distributors, I just make it very simple. When they join my team, they have a pin post that I tag them in. It goes over the generic, like, here's how you log in, here's how you sign a customer. Don't forget to look at your eSuite, your training. It's just very, very general. And then we have one event in our team page that has scripts on it, like videos, scripts. And so they have access to that. And I essentially just say, go. I don't care what you have to do, but go get your 4 loyals. And I usually give them a time frame of do it within 24 hours to a week. Like, we got to get this done. So my new distributors don't think they have a month. Like, I just tell them, go do it now. let's get your 4 customers. And I give them a sense of urgency. And I think that's really important. And then, I think creating a team bond is really important. So I stick my new people in chats. They're stuck, like I stick them in one chat, and that chat is full of other new people as well. So I'll pop in and give some tips, and they ask questions, and they kind of feed off each other throughout the day. So really, I'm not training anybody. I'm just there. I'm there to support. I'm there to answer questions. But I'm not on the phone for hours training these people. There's no way, as an ambassador, I'd be able to train everybody. It's just, there's no way. It's not duplicatable to spend hours on the phone. So I've just made it very, very simple. And, we just work on setting up a wrap party, whether it's online or in person. We're doing like a team online wrap party. Not my whole team, but like a smaller team. We're doing an online wrap party, and I'm going to lead it. They add all of their people that are potentials, and I'm going to try to sign them up for them. So I'm going to try to seal the deal for them. So we do things like that. They learn from that. They learn by watching how I communicate, how I'm doing my party pad presentation. And then after they see me do an online party, they're like, okay, I can do this in person, or I can do this online as well. So it's just lead by example, I think, is really huge when you sign up new distributors. And it's a huge mistake if you think that as soon as you go diamond or ruby, emerald, that all of a sudden you're a manager and all you have to do is tell your team what to do, because you should be out there signing loyals and signing distributors, because you're going to have people quit, and you have to keep doing those steps to success to keep the cycle going. But you're going to have people that do stick around, and those are the people that will get you to ambassador.
Yeah, that is so awesome. First off, when did you step up as a leader, and how did you do it? Like, as you were going through the ranks, when did you kind of, take the reins and start, really leading your team?
Well, when I first got started, my enroller, I think she was like trying to go ruby, and she had been in like 4 months, before me. And so she was very new. Both of us were just kind of new and didn't know what we were doing. We have very different color personalities. I was very green. So I wanted to look up a lot of the answers. And I just kind of figured it a lot out on my own. And I ended up promoting past her, which is not a bad thing. It was really cool to see, because when I did promote to presidential, I remember she was a double diamond. So I surpassed her. And then it was really cool because she ended up catching up with me, and we worked together, training our teams together. And then she ended up going ambassador the month before me. So we went ambassador around the same time. And due to me promoting a little bit faster in the beginning, I did have to, or I didn't have to, but I did take a lot of the responsibility on. And I made my own team page. And, once my team got really, really big, and I had, we still did team meetings together and things like that. She's local, but I think just leadership comes when you've got a family underneath you and you want to take care of them. And by no means being a leader means separating yourself, because you don't want to separate yourself from your upline. Melody McFarland is actually my upline. So she was there for guidance. She's local as well. She still does monthly meetings with us. And I think leadership is something you have to kind of learn as you go. I mean, I've made so many mistakes in the past. I charted wrong in the beginning. I mean, so many different things that I kind of had to learn from my mistakes. And now I'm teaching my team, like, okay, don't do that. I did that in the past. It's not beneficial, things like that. You're never going to be a perfect leader. Even as an ambassador, I'm still learning.
Yeah, it's always a learning process. So as you've gone through this journey, like, what are some things that have molded you into the leader that you are today, or that you think has kind of been a turning point of, hey, like, I've really stepped it up, and, I'm here to mentor you? And does that make sense? Is that kind of...
I mean, I think going to events and like being around corporate, being in the presence of like Mark and Cindy and Mike and Tiff, I mean, Pam Souter, like her daughter Kay is one of my best friends. Just being around them as people and like kind of seeing, okay, these are the people that run this company, and I'm sitting here in their presence, and they look at me like I'm representing their company, and they're proud of that. It just made me really want to be the best I could be. I want to be the best I can be for It Works. I want to represent it right. I do not ever consider other ambassadors my competition, because in the long run, like, I want this company to go beyond $1 billion. So we need all of our teams to succeed, So I think once it stops being all about you and it starts being about the company and about others and changing other people's lives, that's when the huge turning point happens. Because in the beginning, I'll be honest, it was just about me. I didn't think I needed to go to my first conference. Michael wouldn't let me go, but I didn't think I needed it. I remember I got upset with a girl because she was copying my statuses, and I was like, how dare you take my statuses? That was my attitude. I thought, it's my show. It's my thing. Don't take any credit for what I'm doing. I'm working my butt off. Like, don't take that. That was my attitude. And the more I got in this, I feel like, God just softened my heart, and the leader that I was when I first started is completely different than the leader that I am now. And I think everybody can kind of learn from that and know that if you make mistakes along the way, it's okay. It's going to mold you into that person that you're eventually going to be.
Definitely. So as you've gone through that, what are some lessons learned that you can share with us?
I think, a lesson learned. Let me think.
Or a lesson or something that you've learned along the way that would help us grow.
Yeah, I think not really caring what people think. That's huge for me. I let that kind of slow me down a lot in the beginning. I really cared what people thought about me, people from high school, even my family. When I started bringing in a lot of distributors, I kind of just put them anywhere on my chart without even like thinking. I wasn't strategic with what I did with my chart. I just was like, okay, I got to go double diamond. I'm just going to like put all these people random places. And I teach my team, like, it's okay to place wherever you want, but you got to be strategic. If you're going to place distributors, make sure that this person has stepped up. They're running an auto ship. They look like a future Ruby to you. Don't just make someone a Ruby, So I teach a lot of charting mistakes in the past that I made. I think, I've been through like a lot, especially this past year. I lost my dad and my father-in-law in the same like 5 months time frame. I've also lost, I had a miscarriage back in 2013. So I've been through like a lot of heartache in the business, and I've been able to show my team that even through heartache and hard times, you best believe, like, I was still posting, I was being consistent, because I knew my team was watching, and I knew my business doors could not shut. Because in the real world, if I owned a business, it's great if I need a degree for a week, but I still need to get back to work. And so I showed my team that you got to be consistent even when trials hit, And so that's like something really, really important that I teach my team, is just people are always watching, and people want to see you be real too. And I think through a lot of the stuff I was going through, I was never fake on Facebook. I always talked about how I was feeling. If I was having a really bad day and crying, like, I didn't, I wasn't dramatic. Like, I didn't air my dirty laundry, but, I want to be real for my followers. And I think that my followers, like that. They like to see that who they follow is the real Susan Wade. So I teach my team, be real, be you. Don't try to be somebody else. Don't follow VIP leaders and try to copy someone so much to where you don't even know who you are. I think that's really important.
Yeah, I believe that is super, super important, because I think sometimes we are following people and we're like, oh my gosh, I want to be just like them. I'm going to copy every single thing they're doing. But at the same time, like, you have to be your own leader and be your own person, because people want to see you. They don't want to see a mimic
Right.
of somebody else. So first of all, I am so sorry for your losses this year.
Thank you.
That is so awesome how you could work through that and still show your team how strong you were through that. And so a question I had was, we all go through seasons or funks through this business, and a lot of people went through one in this fourth quarter and are getting out of it. So, people have lost ranks, but what would you say to the person who's maybe struggling to accept the rank that they lost, like their highest paid rank? Somebody might say, I was diamond, or, I was ruby, but, going through this season type of deal.
Well, everybody loses rank. Like, I don't think there's like an ambassador. Well, there probably is, but I've lost rank before. I haven't lost ambassador, but throughout my journey, I've lost rank before. And I'm very open with my team about, like, my diamonds and above. Like, when we talk about it, I tell them, like, who cares? The issue is, like, what are you going to do about it? If you've lost diamond, who cares? Get it back next month. And how do you do that? Well, you're going to bring in new people. And the more you do your steps to success, the less your people quitting underneath you is going to bother you. Because I have people quit all the time. I have like a list a mile long of people I've signed up that don't work, but it doesn't matter to me because I'm bringing in new people, new blood, new excitement, and that's what's going to change your business. So if you're in a funk right now, you just got to fall back in love with It Works. You got to fall back in love with the products. You need to go to conference. And you need to start fresh. And for some of you, it means erasing people off your chart that aren't working. Like, get rid of them. I would much rather someone come to me and be honest as a diamond and say, here I am. I've got 2 people working, 2. I'm an executive. And maybe not even that. Maybe they're not even both at 400. But I would rather someone come to me with their chart, showing me who they've got, erase everybody else, than a diamond to come to me and have everybody filled in boxes and none of them are working. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And you actually might work smarter and faster if you do decide to delete people off your chart, because then when you have a newbie come in, you're going to think smarter with how you're charting. You're going to think, okay, I need someone on my top line to go emerald and I got nobody else working. So this newbie is about to be my new emerald if she's ready to step up. And so I think some people are so prone to dwell on the people who are not working, and they dwell on the quitters, and they dwell on everything negative going wrong in their business. And instead, they're not using that energy to bring new people in, to do exciting new calls for their team, to make a positive post. They're not out there recruiting. They're not planning a party. Their energy is stuck over here back in 2000 whatever. I mean, I guess 2016, but it's a new year, So you have to start fresh. I mean, I have to start fresh sometimes. I have a chart that I have to redo because so-and-so decided she wanted to, not do It Works and do something else. I mean, it happens to the best of us. So conference is a huge way, you guys, to get your attitude in check and just to fall back in love. And that is going to bring more people in than you can even imagine. It's just to have that passion again.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I know, and a lot of people on here who've been to conference or green carpet can tell you the fire that gets in your soul when you're there is just absolutely insane, and everything blows up. So I know you've probably heard of the quote, the speed of the leader is the speed of the pack. So how do you personally show your team you're working and that you keep that speed going?
I try to make sure they know that I'm posting just like them. I'm posting, I'm sharing. So I try to wear my gear when we go out. And I'm not afraid, like in our diamonds and above chat, like we talk about like how many dream entries did you get? And we have like friendly competitions. Like I've got some really strong double diamonds and triple diamonds that will enroll like 12 to 16 people a month. And so that's who I try to enter. Like, I'm like, okay, I gotta match that. That is what I gotta match because these girls are showing me up, So we have, not that you have to enroll that many, but I mean, they see that I'm wanting this. They hear my name when they do top enrollers sometimes on corporate calls. They see me recognized, so they know that I'm not sitting back and just relying on them to work. And they see some people doing that, and so they see the difference. They can definitely tell a difference. And so I just try, again, steps to success is my goal every month. I would love to do more, but I know that's what Mark has told us that's our job as ambassadors, is to get those steps of success done. So my team knows that I fulfill that every single month.
Yes. What is the next question, sorry. What is your favorite self-development book or for leadership or growth?
I'll be honest, I hate reading. So I'm like the worst ambassador to ask this question to. I just don't like reading at all, but I like audiobooks. But I have read, what did I read? I read 2 last year. One wouldn't be so much for new people, but I really like Present Over Perfect. That was a very amazing book for me personally to read, just in the season that I was in. And then I like How to Be a Badass. That's a good book. There's a few things I disagree, throughout, but the book as a whole is amazing. It's just, as a Christian, you have to be very careful with a few of the things she says, but I really, really like that book. Pam recommends that book a lot to people that just really lack the confidence to feel like they're even worthy of this. So that's a really good book. Michael likes listening to Jim Rohn. He likes listening to, who else? He really likes Rich Dad, Poor Dad. He's read that like a couple times. Joel Dunn has recommended a few things to Michael, but he's the reader in the family. So he'll read and then he kind of reiterates it back to me. So yeah, I'm like the worst person for that question. I'm sorry.
Oh, those are awesome recommendations. So I know you and your husband work this business very closely together. I know some people on here may be trying to get their husband on board or significant other. How would you recommend doing that, or how did you get your husband on board?
I mean, Michael did a complete 180 when he went to an event. I was making way above presidential average monthly income, and Michael still wasn't really wanting to post or share, do anything. So it was getting him to an event, and he really saw, okay, this is who's leading the company. These are really nice, people. They're legit. The company's legit. He fell in love with It Works at that event. So getting to an event was huge for us. And just having him around other like-minded people was very, very huge. And I mean, men need to understand, Michael came home and we tried to find the groove of where we would just do It Works, both of us, and hit it hard. And we realized that wasn't making our life happy. We figured out that he'll do a little bit of It Works, but he's out doing other projects. He's really into real estate. He's really into investing and relationships with other men and things like that, just with our church. And so I don't want men thinking that they're going to just come home and sit on their butt and have to do It Works all the time. Like, you don't have to do that, so allow It Works to bring you home, and then you get to do whatever you want, and you're going to figure out what that is. But right now, if you're in a job that you hate, at least It Works can be the vehicle for you to come home and be able to do that. We just realized for us, Michael was not meant to be Mr. Mom and watch the kids while I do It Works. Or, we tried to do it both together, but he says I can do it best. So, he lets me do a lot of the hardcore stuff, and he gets to encourage our team and pull reports and little things like that still help us, but he's not, hardcore full-time Joel Dunn type work right now.
But that's still awesome that you guys work so closely together, and he helps.
Oh yeah, he helps. He supports me 100%. He's my biggest cheerleader.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Hashtag what's today? Like spousal day or something?
Oh yeah, it's like,
I'm not going to even shout him out because he gets mad thinking holidays are made up, and then he's going to be like, "Oh, I didn't get you a card." I'm so,
Oh my goodness. I think there's actually, is it like the urban calendar or something like that?
I don't know. He's at a meeting right now. I'm not even going to make him feel bad by making a post because I know he's not going to make one about me.
Oh,
so, I know he loves me.
Yeah. So the last question here before I wrap up, how do you keep the unity on your team or unity in your leaders?
I think the unity in our team came when I started letting go control and I started allowing layered leadership to happen naturally. And it wasn't the Susan and Michael show anymore on our team page. I stepped back and I said, okay, this is our team page. I want all of our diamonds to feel comfortable sharing a tip, sharing a video. I want you guys to be in the spotlight. We've done that now for over 2 years at least. And heck, that's when I went ambassador, that's when my team was growing the most. I just think, when someone tries to run their business and want it all to be about them, their team sees that and they don't want to be a part of it. They want to separate. And so the unity from our team comes from me forming relationships with them. I know pretty much every single one of my diamonds and above. We have a chat, some more than others that have been around a little bit longer. My double diamonds and above are like my best friends. I mean, we had a doubles retreat, and every single one of them that came, I'm so close to. And so I think just making it not so much just business, but also remembering that these are people and they have feelings. And so I make sure that they know that they're appreciated, and that no matter what their rank is, anybody on my team, I want them to know that they're appreciated. I made a post yesterday, actually, just saying how much 2017 I wanted everybody to feel included. So there's a lot of people, they come into a team and they see certain leaders and they think that, oh, they're a clique. I'll never be a part of that. They've been around longer than I have. And so they disconnect. And so I wanted our team to know that's not true. We want up and coming leaders. We want new people to rise up. We want everybody to feel included. And I think just letting your team know that they're accepted is so important and that they're heard. I want my leadership to know that if you're a diamond, you can tell me, you can post to my team page and give a tip. I don't care that you're not ambassador yet. So yeah, just having that unity with each other and having friendship.
Yeah, I think that's so important, because I think sometimes we get so caught up, like me, I need to give this tip, I need to do this, I need to do that. But, it's really, like you said, implementing that layered leadership and, helping others rise up into growing into the leader they're going to be, or they already are. So that's all the questions I had for you. But before we wrap up, I know you get asked this all the time, what is your biggest tip? But what is a tip that you could leave us with?
Let me think. I think my biggest tip, just because I am real big on social media, is just to don't be someone else when you have, you're already in at work, so you may have already made this mistake, but tell your new distributors when they join, do not turn into someone else. Don't do a 180. We want you to stay you. We want you to incorporate It Works in your posts. We want it to look like a diary of what you do throughout the day. We want it to still be about you, still be about your family, still be about your likes or dislikes. If you look like an It Works catalog, that is the number one thing that's going to scare people off. So when you join and when your new distributors join, be careful with what your profile looks like. Do not have It Works plastered everywhere. Do not have the fab wrap as your cover photo. Stay you. You can have adventure and look like Boss Babe or whatever, but I don't recommend looking like you have It Works, because then people are going to already know your business. You want people to look at your profile and still be curious, well, what at-home business is she talking about? I wonder what she's a leader of. I'm going to message her. You got to keep people intrigued. You got to want to reel them in. So don't give them all, what's that saying? I don't know. It's some saying about don't give it all away. You want to have them still reach out to you and be curious. So that's my number one tip, is just to remain you and to keep people intrigued.
Awesome. Okay, well, I'm going to see, we might have time for 2 questions. Does anybody have a question for Susan before we get off? Anybody? Did I answer everybody's questions?
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, of course. Thank you.
I'm about to do our team Zoom, so it'll be good because I can go ahead and hop on, and I usually play some music before, so it works.
Thank you so much for doing this for us.
You're welcome. Well, y'all have a great night.
You too. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.